Hello everyone, eBomb113 here with another custom creation. This is my Colonial Armadillo. So, I was thinking about using this in either an Alien or an Halo mock, I'm not too sure which. Either way, both franchises do with Colonial theme stuff. So, this is actually, it's not quite Mega Constructs. It maybe has a few pieces thrown in here and there, but it's mostly from just parts from a guy that I know owns a toy shop, and usually his big seller is Lego, but most of the time other brick built or brick based systems are thrown in with Lego because if you're not Lego or into the toy industry, you would know the difference. So kids or you know aimless adults just throw in all these parts together because they look similar. So he sorts through all the pieces, and usually if it's not Lego, he gives it to me to sort through, see if there's any Mega Block stuff. And this, like I said, this isn't all Mega Blocks. I mean, there's a few bits and pieces thrown in, but it's actually from a G.I. Joe line called Built to Rule. I don't know if they're even still a thing anymore. It took me a good hour just to find a reference picture of what the original chassis was supposed to be. So supposed to be some big, I guess like armored transport. Had 8 wheels, but I could only find 6 in the piles that he gave me. He might have found them somewhere else, or no, the parts might be somewhere else. But and then there was supposed to be like a big armored back section, but I only had half of that. I thought it looked silly with just half of the armor, so I just made it like a big open truck. And since it's colonial, I put a few colonial marines or custom ones that I've made. So like that's one with arm gauntlets and Frank Wood's head, just to kind of divvy him up a little bit. So that's size, just for size comparison. So one of these tires is about the size of a figure, height-wise. But I'll show you different angles of the vehicle. So there it is from the side. This is the main compartment, I guess, where the engine and cockpit would be. Then you have like a troop carrying or supply section back there. Got some ladders on the back. I'd imagine you probably need some kind of additional vehicle to load it up with supplies, but if it's a troop carrier, they can just, extend out these ladders and climb on in. And I thought about making like a closed part, but I didn't know if I had enough pieces for it, so I just left it open for now. Just like maybe it's just an old battered truck, essentially, like space truck that seen quite a few years. That's why I wasn't too worried about the colors too much, just because it's probably been replaced, after countless battles and incursions. So there's the front of it. So you got like this grill, like these are 3 separate pieces for the grill. Most of the front is there. I think there was like one little canopy section that wasn't there, but so I had a few extra Halo turrets laying around, so I just switched up the barrel. That way it could be Halo or any other line. So that swivels, not a full 360, maybe like it's not even a 180 to be honest, whatever's less than that. But it's covered in lights, has a few hitches for maybe like carrying or pulling cargo. And then this section opens up, and you can see I have a seat. I don't have anybody driving it right now, but it's not a full cockpit, so you get to it. You don't have to climb. I mean, you can climb up to the side, but there's a ladder down in there just to kind of represent, hey, you can climb up in the seat. And I didn't add a steering wheel. I realize that now. Oh well. But it's covered in lights and roll bars and all this other stuff. A little bit of antenna for communications. So there's the inside. It's nice and spacious. I got 2 more custom Marines in there. Got some benches on the sides. I'll show that in the light. So it's in troop carrier mode, but you can take those out and put supply crates in it. Then you got like a little desk over there to put up, a laptop or work on your gun or something. There's a barrel fuel, and there's a ladder in there, and there's another ladder up underneath there showing get to the cockpit. There's like a little armory station, so I got like an assault rifle and a submachine gun through there, and then like a little display. I know it's for the Call of Duty exosuits, but it's like, well, maybe it has some kind of communication system. It's just there to simulate. It's like a touch screen. And then there's like one little light up here just to give the cargo space some light. So it turned out pretty well. The bottom, it's all one, or it's actually two really big pieces. So two big pieces right there. And I technically had to tear this brick apart. I think these tires went to something else, because these two I could find in the bin that he gave me. But this one, it was too small, so I kind of split it in half just to make it work. But it's on the bottom, so I'm not too worried about it, even if I did cheat a little bit. So I'm thinking about calling it my Colonial Armadillo. That was the name that was on there's like a compartment, or part of the armored compartment that said like Armadillo Assault or something. So the main chassis is from an old construction line designed for G.I. Joes. So this cockpit was designed for like a full-fledged, I guess like 6-inch minifigure at one point. But I thought it looked cool as like a giant space truck, essentially. I'm pretty proud of it. It just looks like a big junker, really. And I kind of like that. So tell me what y'all think in the comments below. If you think it's interesting, if you think it's stupid. Nah, I think it looks pretty good on display. Just looks like a hunk of junk on wheels, and I love it. And I love dark, spacey, weird stuff like that. So I think that pretty much does it for the review. Tell me what y'all think in the comments below, and I'll see you next video.